Hey everyone, Nerdy Pastor back here today, and excited to be with you, and have a short video here to give you an update on some things that I'm digging into. I've got some pastoral study days today and next Thursday that I'm digging into some books and some good material, and just thought I'd suggest a few things to you if you're looking for something to read that might have to do with ministry, preaching, or personal life when it comes to life as a believer. So today I'll be reading a number of different things, hopefully all edifying, I'm sure, for me. But I'm going to be diving into Dennis Johnson's book, Him We Proclaim, which is preaching Christ in all of Scripture. Of course, there's a number of Reformed homiletical books similar to this, but this is a very comprehensive book that gives more of a theological overview, along with some practical help here and there, but mainly theological overview, and then a few appendices that have some ways to kind of go about the work of preaching, but primarily the theological overview and some of the homiletical principles of preaching. So really looking forward to reading through a chunk of that today. Next, I've started this book a number of years ago, but apparently I didn't finish it. And it's kind of the right time to talk about this in a sense when it comes to Christmas and the Incarnation. And as I'm preaching on Christ as the Incarnation is the new Noah. And the new Noah and, in fact, the new ark. He is both common grace and special grace, Jesus Christ is. Therefore, he's the preacher, and he is the ark itself. So I thought I'd review what it says in the Confession 25:2, that there being no ordinary salvation outside the church. And Ryan McGraw, the assistant petitian who comes from Greenville Pres down in South Carolina, wrote an excellent book here called Is There Salvation Outside the Church? And I've read about a third of it, and I forgot I had not read the rest of it. So I'll be diving into that as well to talk a little bit about the necessity of people that experience salvation. It's ordinarily experienced inside the church because Jesus Christ is the head of the church. So talk a little bit about that and read a little bit about that. Kind of in the same line here, more theological. Bought this monograph. It's volume 6 in the Classic Reformed Theology series put out by Reformation Heritage Book. This one is Justification by Faith Alone. And it's a number of works, 3 particular works on justification. And Beza writes the longest one in this collected series, and it's a defense of justification. And I love how he says it in the title, that it's a defense of justification through the righteousness of Christ alone, freely imputed, obtained by living faith. Interesting there. Very important to understand. All those words mean something. Then Amadeus Paulinus has a treatise called The Free Justification of Man, the Sinner Before God, about 60-page treatise there. And the one I'm going to read today is a textual theological exercise concerning the harmony of Paul and James concerning justification by Turretin. So what a fantastic monograph that kind of has these 3 works together on justification, kind of from Reformation, the Reformation period, and kind of the further Reformation as well. So we have Turretin in there in the 17th century. And then 2 practical books I'll be tackling. One is this book by Horace Bushnell called Christian Christian Nurture. Can't see it really there very well, can you? Sorry about that. There it is. It doesn't have, of course, a dust cover on it, dust jacket on it. But what's beautiful about this book is it's talking primarily about Christian education, and Christian education primarily through the home and beyond. So it's talking about Christian nurture as in discipleship for young people and also discipleship for those growing in the faith. But it has more of an educational philosophy to that. So it's not kind of what the parachurches do, which is kind of just one-on-one kind of relational pieces, which is important. It's also not just family worship, like talking about, how it's all supposed to work out in the family. However, it centers on the family, which is certainly helpful, and I think the right place to be within the church as well. So it kind of balances all those things. And it also talks about infant baptism and the necessity of it as well. And the out has one fantastic little title called chapter 8 called The Outpopulating Power of the Christian Stock. So this kind of idea that we're going to overpopulate the world, which is, fairly common view of Presbyterians in this way. So some really good stuff here on the nurture, where it begins, and also where it continues and grows, and goes through parental qualifications, family government. So really kind of a tome on Christian education and Christian parenting and Christian discipleship from infant baptism, from infancy up. Really good. So I'll read some the opening chapter of that today. And then lastly, going to be got this book from a wonderful counselor at a pastor's retreat last month, and was very helpful for me, that retreat and the counselor's discussion. He said most of the work he'd been doing is kind of moving from or taking from or kind of developing from this book by Milan and K. Yurkovich called How We Love. Fairly popular book that comes out. It's expanded edition, so it's the second edition here. So it's Discover Your Love Style, Enhance Your Marriage. It's a lot like understanding the things you bring into your marriage, the dynamics, the personality, your familial history, being aware of these things so that you are not controlled or imprisoned to them. You understand enough self-awareness that you are not kind of imprisoned or shackled by these behavioral styles, emotional, misalignment. Some people are very emotional. Some people have no connection to their emotions. Some people don't know why they're behaving the way they behave. So this is a really helpful book, I think. It's going to really help me continue to develop as a husband, as a father, and as a pastor and counselor for those that are struggling with the same issues as this book kind of gets at. So great practical, we call pastoral theology and practical life for a Christian and for myself here. So these books are what I'm kind of diving into here today, and for next Thursday for my little pastoral study sabbatical, and developing some space for that in the midst of it. So I hope those books might be helpful for you. Those are some things that I am investigating and spending time on, at least these next 2 Thursdays. And before we do a Christmas break, I will let you know what will be the reading plan for the Christmas break, which will be unfortunately married together with my work through Greek 2 as well. I am looking forward to that in my spirit, but I am also not looking forward to that when it comes to my break as well. So hope this encourages you as you seek out resources yourself for continuing development as disciples of Jesus and children of the Father. Signing off.